All right, today we're going to talk about another topic in social psychology. Could someone please tell me what social psychology is? Your own words. Joe, go ahead.
It's kind of like how your own idea is kind of influenced by other people.
I'll go along with that. The way you act, the way you think is influenced by other people. We've all year talked about percentages. Give me some percentages. What percentage of your behavior do you think is affected by the influence of others? I won't ask you for anything else other than that. What percentage? Natalie, go ahead.
I'm going to say pretty high, like 85%.
85%? I won't ask you why. At least not yet. Evan?
I'm going to say 70.
70%? Okay. Anybody else? Do we all agree that it's in that range? Is there anybody who thinks that Natalie and Evan are way too high, even too low? So everybody says that over half of your behavior is affected by others. Okay. What I'd like for you to do next, if you would please, is within your groups, discuss and answer these two questions. Discuss and answer these two questions. Why do people act that way? Who and how do they act? I don't know. I just want you to answer that question. And how accurate are first impressions? Among yourselves, answer those two questions.
But it shows that like you're very timid and your first impression is very clear person.
So you're going to go
A lot of people lie.
hey friend, what's up?
So first impression's only accurate if you're...
Yeah, but that implies that they actually care what
Then it's not a first impression.
How is it not a first impression if you're meeting like the first time?
Are you comfortable meeting people for the first time?
Yeah. Depends on who I'm meeting.
When you went to your college little orientation this past.
Yeah, I don't know what this is. That's very accurate.
No, not usually.
Some people are pretty good at
Why do people but if you're just like meeting another like
Do you have a general idea of your answers to those two questions? General idea. I need you to watch this film clip, if you would, please. It's a film clip that may be familiar to some of you. I'm not going to give you much background. And then, in the context of this film clip, we're going to answer those questions.
Well,
A young lady's name is Elizabeth Lambert. Maybe some of you heard the story about her and heard some of the things that she was involved in. She was obviously a soccer player for the University of New Mexico, and those were her actions in one game. I don't know soccer very well, but how she got that far in that game, I'm not sure of. She was suspended for several games for her actions. Now, do any of you personally know Elizabeth Lambert? Give me your first impressions of her, based on what you saw on those clips. What do you think, Evan?
very violent.
A violent person, absolutely.
a competitor with anger issues.
A competitor with anger issues. Kayla.
So she really doesn't care what happens to the person if she wants the ball?
She's going to do whatever she has to do to get the ball. Go along with that. Anybody else?
Somebody I don't want to be friends with.
Somebody you don't want to be around. Anybody else? If you read about Elizabeth Lambert, most people say, who know her well, that what you saw in that clip is not her off the field. Now, she has had some issues on the field before that, but that was not her. That's not who she is. But based on first impressions, Gabby said not someone she wants to be friends with because of the first impression that was created. Okay? why do you think she acted that way? None of us personally know her. Have any of you even read about her? Okay, so a couple of you have, but most of you have not. Why do you think she acted that way? You're at that game. How would you answer that question? If someone said, why did Elizabeth Lambert act like she did? My personal favorite was the ponytail rule. Kayla, go ahead.
The fact that she just really wanted the ball.
So she's super competitive.
Yeah.
Okay, go along with that. Joe.
I think it's a mixture of competitiveness and anger management issues.
So she just can't manage her anger very well, and so she takes that anger to the field with her.
Yeah.
Got it. Natalie, go ahead.
There could be something going on outside of soccer that is affecting your life, so some kind of external stress.
An external stress. Any examples, and not just Natalie, but anyone, what kind of examples of external stress could cause her to behave in that way?
Fight with a friend.
Fight with a friend. Anything else?
Yeah, maybe she has a big test or something coming up in college.
A big test, and she can't handle the stress. Joe, what else?
Her dog died.
Her dog
Example of attribution. You attributed her behavior to certain things. Maybe she's very competitive and has anger issues. Maybe there was stress for outside life. Maybe she's just that super competitive. A lot of you attributed it to competitiveness. Now imagine if you saw someone do that out on the street. Walking down the street, you see someone grab hold of someone, pull them down to the ground. What would you attribute it to then? Psychotic? Mental illness? Were those actions criminal?
Assault. Yeah.
That wasn't real life?
Outside of the lines, it could be detained.
Would you get arrested for doing that to someone?
I think that the people that she did that to could press charges against her.
They could? Okay. Well, let's move on and write down a few things as we talk about, first of all, impression formation. How do you create those impressions? And then we'll talk a little bit about attributing behavior